Little 4-inch G-Rat swim bait. That's another one right there. On a swim bait. Oh yeah. I don't know what that is. It's gotta be a red. It's a nice trout. I got him hooked under the chin. So I got this trout, maybe 17, hooked in the chin, or in the belly almost. He hit it, and it just kind of felt funny. And of course, he's fighting like a beast when I don't have him in this. It's a good fish, like 18, 19-inch fish. Check out that girl, y'all. She is G-Rat thin swims. Just to give you a clue what's going on here, like even though we're almost at the bottom of an outgoing tide, I'm still finding these fish. They want to be in 2 feet of water. You know, there's an area here, like you take these dock pilings where it's 5 feet at the bottom, at the end of that dock piling. You would think naturally, maybe they would take the deeper water on outgoing tide, move back in on incoming, but that's not the case. They're sitting up here in that 2 foot and some in the less than 2 foot range. It's a 2.5 pound trout at 19 inches. That is a grown trout. Obviously the length is good, but definitely not big by any means. But what'd you do with the boga, kid?
It's right here.
Look at the shoulders on her. See that? We let all our trout 18 inches go anyhow. That's just not even what we prefer to eat. We catch plenty of smaller eaters. But definitely let these girls go. And she's just clearly got the genetics. She's gonna potentially a big trout if she makes it. So yeah, so I let the big ones go. Anything 18 inches or better. Like I said, everybody's got to kind of go by their own rules, their own philosophies, and when it comes to conservation, I kind of look at it very practical. That's how I'm in life. I've been fortunate enough to been fishing for a long time. I would say it's about the only thing I'm really good at. From a hobby perspective or talent perspective, we catch a lot of good eating sized trout. Our freezer is always full as we want it to be. I have zero need to keep anything over 18. Here in Mississippi, 15 inches is the minimum size limit. We catch plenty between 15 and 18. So I let the bigger ones go. Got big fish? Kate might have a red on. So we let the big girls go. Encourage you to do the same if that's something that is reasonable to you. It's a giant trout, dude. Look how red it is. Caden got a big old red. Yeah. Ooh. There we go. I'm gonna hold up my son's fish because I am the guide. He just casts where I tell him. These are my fish. So we found a little spot. Caught 4 keepers, 1 good 19-inch trout, big red. We can see on side scan there's some more fish there. We've already caught about 8 keeper trout this morning in the first couple hours, and so the catching is good and we're having fun. But as I mentioned before, I'm trying to learn where these trout are. We're in a period of time where the transition is very fast. These trout are moving very fast through our bay systems into our bayous. And there's a little sacrifice, in my opinion, that you need to make. Sometimes, it's good. Get on a spot, catch a few. I think it's in our nature to sit there and keep having that fun. And by the time that bite is done for the day, yeah, you caught the heck out of them on a spot, but I want to go back out tomorrow. And what happens if they're not on that spot? When I had a good bite going, I didn't learn anything else about where these fish might be in this bay system throughout the day. So the idea is to follow these fish, stay ahead of these fish, stay on these fish throughout the next 2-3 months into our wintertime. And so sometimes you need to sacrifice a little bit and explore and keep working maybe the pattern that you just discovered on one spot, see if you can apply it to other spots that might have similarities. It's a good trout. Chunky 15-incher. With swim baits, I do like to always fish them with the current. With mid-strolling and other straight tails that I'm kind of bringing up in the water column, like I've mentioned in the past, sometimes I'll use kind of an against the grain approach, counter current, to keep the bait up in the water column for longer by reeling against the current. With swim baits, I like to keep it with the current. So I'm really fishing for fish that are on the bottom with their bellies on the bottom looking into the current, and using that paddle tail to kind of create a reaction strike as I bounce it by them. Really not a complicated style of fishing. Anybody can do it. Just learn the basics of casting if you're not familiar with lures. It's cheap. Go get a jig head of your choice and your favorite plastic. There's a gazillion different swim baits out there. Cast and retrieve. Cast at the target and retrieve. I'm kind of on the edge of a little shell bed. I'm just bringing the bait down the edge of that shell bed. But again, in our inshore waters, targets are numerous. There's docks, there's flats, everything you can think of. And they all hold fish at times. There we go. Not bad fish. Nice flounder. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good one there, dude. Pretty one, man. My son's fish. Just another example of catch a little bit of everything. Big old flounder, probably like a 19-inch flounder on that little swim bait. Nice trout. Hey, go get the net, dude. Give me the net. Give me the net. It's got some dog in them. You ready? Come up here. Ooh. Yeah. It's a big girl, y'all. Pretty fish. Swim bait. Hey y'all, it's Kyle with Inshore Edge. Today I want to talk to you about the fall transition and kind of give you just the baseline for the situation that I'm in today. I haven't been able to circumstantially been able to fish for about the past week and a half, 2 weeks, work and things like that. We are in our fall migration where we got a lot of trout coming into our bay systems and bayous. We got a lot of bait around. We got a lot of reds and flounder making their way out. A lot of transition. Fish are moving fast through the system. So when you have an extended period off like that, you're not on them, it's easy to lose track of the fish, and especially the trout. Flounder, you can come in here and bop around and hit structure and points and do really well. But for the trout, they're moving fast, I mean day to day. And so I learned a lesson last fall. I got behind them and ended up catching up to them, but wasted probably about a month and a half of fishing, and I was just behind them. They moved a lot faster. So I've been trying to stay ahead of them. So again, you come out here, so one of the first things I commit to on a day like today is I'm gonna go into our bay system and then up into our bayous, but I'm covering a lot of water. And I'm using side scan, using down scan, side scan to kind of see fish as I pull up to different different areas. I have no idea where they are. I mean, they could be in the bay system, they could be up the bayous. So we started up a bayou and the bait was thick up there. We were way up there, didn't really see a whole lot of fish. Caught a few small ones, so we kind of made our way back down to the bay. So one of the things I chose to do today is to not only stay on the move, using my sonar, cover a lot of water, trying to track down these fish where the majority are, but also the way I'm fishing for them. So I like to fish a lot of big baits for big trout, but on days like today where I just need to figure out where they are, because like I've mentioned in the past, and I'll explain more as I get on some videos maybe this winter where I catch some bigger fish, you'll see the bigger fish are quite often near the smaller fish in the general area, but they do things different with that general area. So I need to find fish. And the way I love to do that is using 4-inch swim baits. You can use 3-inch too, get more bites, but 4-inch swim baits, everything eats them. In the bass fishing world, small swim baits are considered finesse. You get on a lake with multiple species of bass, white bass, hybrid bass, crappie, all that stuff. Everything eats a little minnow, right? And those little swim bait action tails, they cause just a lot of reaction bites. But it's considered finesse fishing. Yes, you can catch big fish on them, but for the most part, it creates a numbers game for you. You can really, out here inshore, you can fill a box with them. Flounder, reds, trout. If I'm just trying to go fishing and fill a cooler, I will often throw a swim bait for some portion of that day because you just get bit. It's a great way to cover water and find out what's going on. So I'm using those two things, staying on the move, using my sonar as always, but staying on the move and committing to that today and not getting bogged down on 1 or 2 spots, and also using a lure that allows me to cover a lot of water and gets bit, right? To find out what these trout are doing and where they are, right? So that is a G-Rat thin swim. My son's been throwing a Strike King Rage Swimmer. Both of them are about 4 inches, kind of your bait fish patterns. We've both been getting bit. We found out where the trout were. They seem to be in the bay system. I'm sure they're elsewhere, but we found a good population of them in the actual bay proper, moving up towards our bayous. Caught a 19-incher. I've caught about 8 or 9 keepers if we were keeping fish, some good ones. Caught a nice red, caught some flounder, and we're still fishing. So the video I show you may show even more catches as we go, but I wanted to kind of get my thoughts out on what we're doing. So we're using that as a strategy to find fish. I can come back tomorrow, I have tomorrow, and based off the population of the trout I found today, I can come back tomorrow, maybe at more ideal conditions. I'm thinking maybe late afternoon as the tide gets up on an incoming tide. This morning we were fishing on outgoing tide, so the water's real low. So maybe I'll come back in low light conditions in the evening, a higher tide, and try to pick those areas apart with bigger baits up further, more shallow where I found bigger trout will like to get. So a different technique tomorrow, but based off what I found today. And that's the key, is finding those fish and then staying with them and being willing to stay on the move. The other thing about this style, fishing with, again, like a medium to medium light spinning rods is what I prefer to use. You can throw them on a medium action bait cast. Excuse me, got a big old plane going by here. But medium to medium light action is how we like to throw it. We're throwing on 1/8 ounce to 3/16 ounce jigs. The other good thing, if you are an inshore fisherman and you want to make that jump to artificial lures, and maybe you just don't have quite the confidence to do that, this is a fantastic way to do that. Like I said, because you get a lot of bites. So in my opinion, if you were gonna make that jump, grab a medium to medium light spinning rod for castability, fluorocarbon, braided fluoro, mono, whatever line you want to use, but 10 to 15 pound test line, 1/8 to 3/16 ounce jigs, and whatever 3 to 4 inch paddle tail. If you notice my paddle tail video on my YouTube from about a month or so ago, you want to make sure the tail has good action. It's a well-designed bait, swims properly, but just hit your bait system, hit your grass points, your marsh lines, your grass lines, your docks, just creek mouths, everything, and just stay on the move, and you will be blown away how many fish you catch, how often you get bit, and it just builds your confidence. It really does. Be careful though, because when you start building that confidence on lures, it becomes a very expensive game. A lot of lures out there to buy if you've ever gone online. Be careful. Not my fault if you go down that path of lures. Anyhow, so again, feel free to ask questions in the comments. About what we're doing here, but again, covering water using lures that are smaller in profile generate a lot of bites, and then from there you can break down the patterns within the patterns on how, if you want to catch bigger fish, different species, things like that, you can always kind of branch out. So in any case, thanks for following the Inshore Edge.